Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 26th, another day in pandemic quarantine. At least parts of the United States, or a lot of the United States is open, at least in parts, not completely what it was in January and February, and certainly 12 months ago, but hopefully we're getting somewhere. I hope everybody enjoyed their Memorial Day weekend. They had a 3-day weekend. Wasn't the greatest Memorial Day for most people because you couldn't do everything that you wanted to do, but at least it was good in the sense that we had a vacation and hopefully everybody was able to get outside and get some fresh air and certainly keep your distance from everybody. You don't want to breathe in the air too much these days, but get some fresh air as it is. Let's say hello to the squad, though, in the meantime. Elizabeth Francis saying, squad up Lisa Bling Rose, yelling it. Squad up Uncle Brad and the rest of the crew behind the scenes. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Lisa Bling even told me to stay safe yesterday. She left a message for me on my Instagram. Joan Grant, squad up, everybody. Jessica Leamy, Joelle Reed saying, squad up, my loves. Tomasi Baba, squad up. Jewel Delph. Good afternoon, Uncle Brad. Good afternoon, Jewel. Lovey Lima Tango, squad up. Patricia Lusant just is on fire. Angela Herrick, squad up. Tomasi Bobby, I think I said. Kerry Everbless McKenzie, squad up. Kerry. Carol Anderson, the Tiger. How are you, my dear? Elizabeth Francis, Dion Watson, and J.N. Pereira saying, squad up. Marie Brown, Elizabeth Francis, Tamika Nelson saying hello, Rahendra Bisiar, squad up, Rahendra, and who else we have here? Abhishek Patil has a question. He says, I've got a question, and I've got an answer for you, but we got to wait a few minutes, and I will have my answer for you. I hope you like my answer. I'm going to have an answer whether you like it or not. Verona Greenland, squad up. How are you? And who else we got here? Elizabeth Francis, I think I said hello to already. Let's check out what's going on YouTube. On YouTube, Rupan Thukador saying, hi, Brad. How are you? Nice to see you again. Nice to see you, Rupan, and thanks for joining us every day. He's been there every day for the last couple of weeks. Kay, God bless, squad up. Carol, the Top Cat, Tigress 2 Anderson. She is double fisting. She says, hi, Brad and Jill Hun, squad up. And she's a very good double fister, Carol, the Top Cat, Tigress 2 Anderson, because she doesn't leave the same comments on YouTube and Facebook. If you go and look at her comments on Facebook and you go and look at her comments on YouTube, they're completely different comments. She's not copying and pasting back and forth. She's in one conversation on YouTube and a completely different conversation going on Facebook. Jessica Levy Joel also double fisting. David Wright, fresh from his retirement from the New York Mets. I'm sure he's heard that one before. Famous third baseman on the New York Mets. Sexy Shan Myers saying, hey, Brad, what's going on? Janice Williams, squad up. Devious 1NM saying, hi, Brad. Devious. Very devious. Nuwakoro, I always find it interesting, how people describe themselves, because how you describe yourself is somewhat how you see yourself. Hopefully you're devious in a good way, not in a bad way, I hope. Nuakoro Jacinta Chinier saying hello, has a question. Should we do, by the way, Denisha Joseph, I did not forget you. Hello on YouTube and hello on Facebook to Denisha Joseph. By the way, Nuarco Jacinta Chinier has a question. Do you think we should do a pre-question before the schmooze? Why not? Says, hello, Brad. Does receiving unemployment while I-45 and VAWA pending considered a public charge? Now, I have been asked that question, I don't know, 30 times in the last month, 35 times. I bet you the squad knows the answer. And the answer is getting unemployment insurance is not a public charge, simply because there is no need base in whether you qualify for unemployment or not. How you qualify for unemployment is you had a job, you no longer have a job. It's not you had a job and that job paid you less than $20,000 a year. It's you had a job, whether you made $1 million a year or you made $1 an hour. Well, you can't make $1 an hour, but I'm going from one extreme to the other, obviously. And if you collect unemployment, it is not a public charge. However, you do have to worry about whether or not, if you're collecting unemployment and your petitioner does not make enough money, then you may not be able to support yourself here in America. Now, that has nothing to do with collecting actually unemployment, because if you didn't collect unemployment, you would still have the same issue. Can you support yourself here without getting on public assistance? So you have to worry. It's not the act of collecting unemployment, it's the act of not having a job, which is different than whether or not the actual act of collecting unemployment makes you a public charge. If you understand that, was a little convoluted, I think, the way I described it. I'm usually good at describing stuff. So if you didn't understand that, ask again and I'll try to explain it better. Tracy Lacey, how are you? Jill Go Productions, better known as Jilly Bean, saying hello in the YouTube comments. A better tomorrow. Oh boy, a better tomorrow. We need a better tomorrow. I can't handle today. I can't handle this weekend, actually. We'll get to that in the schmooze between what the hell's going on with coronavirus and more what's going on with disgusting things racially going on in America right now. I can't handle it. It's disgusting what's going on. The whole entire country is disgusting. I want to jump off the country. If the country was a boat, I want to jump off. I want out. But apparently we can't. So we got to still be here and fight on and figure this all out. So before we figure it all out and before I go to the schmooze, I do got to remind everybody that if you like this show, please share it. Share it on Facebook. Share it on YouTube. So how do you share on Facebook? Right at the top of the comment section is a share button. It says you can share it publicly. You can share to a group. You can copy the link, send it to somebody. You can start your own watch party. You can do anything you want to promote the show. We need people. We need our Brad Squad to be our promoters, to be our advertising agency, to be our publicists. We need Brad Squad to be the publicists for Brad Show Live. So please share this publicly. Share it to a group you're in. Copy the link and send it to a friend. Say, hey, share, or say, watch. The same on YouTube. It is very easy to share on YouTube. Right next to the thumbs up and thumbs down is a share button. You can share this to your Twitter feed. You can share it to your Facebook feed. You can share it to your Blogger feed. We need our people, our squad on YouTube to also share this. Be our promoters, please. I need everyone to be a promoter. This is how social media works. One person tells the next. It's how it works. I'm not asking for anything unusual. This is how social media works these days. One person says, hey, watch this. Hey, this is cool. Watch that. And that's how people find out about other people on social media. So all I'm asking you to do is follow social media and please share this with your friends and tell them to watch. Also, if you like this on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. We got 24 thumbs up on YouTube, no thumbs down. I'm sure a couple of haters will come in shortly, but we have mostly all thumbs up. Give us a couple of thumbs up. And finally on YouTube and Facebook, please subscribe on YouTube. We want to get our subscriptions up. We want to notify you when we come on live. I hear all the time from people. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I have to. People still telling me I don't want to follow, because I speak to people every day. I said, hey, after I speak to somebody today, I said, hey, he goes, hey, Uncle Brad, how are you? I love you. I love you. I love you. So I said, hey, yeah, you subscribe on YouTube? No. I said, you like and follow me on Facebook? No. I go, what do you mean you watch me every day? You're Uncle Bradding me, tell me how much you love me and you can't subscribe and like and follow? No, I don't want anyone to know my business. I said, what are you, out of your mind? I said, trust me, nobody's watching to see whether or not you follow or subscribe to Brad Show Live. Nobody. Okay, the government's not watching, I promise you. Okay, and also, it doesn't mean just because you subscribe, just because you like and follow, that you have an immigration problem, There are a lot of people. I would bet, if I had to bet money, I would bet a majority of the people who subscribe and follow on YouTube and follow and like us on Facebook are U.S. citizens or legal residents. I can almost assure you of that. So just because you subscribe or just because you like and follow doesn't mean you have an immigration problem. It means that you are interested in learning. You're interested in being part of a fantastic, the best group of all time. I used to say it was the best group in town, and then I was corrected. Then I said it was the best group in the world. But now I really have to say it is the best group of all time, the Brad Squad. There has never been a group ever in the history of the world, going back all the way back to the Big Bang Theory, all the way to the present. There has never been a group as caring and loving. I have to tell you, we are 7,000 people strong now on our Brad Squad group page on Facebook, and everybody is just somebody. There's not a person who's more loving and likable than the next. Everybody is just amazing, 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 amazing. I can't begin to tell you. And how do you become part of this amazing, amazing group? Well, first you got to subscribe on YouTube, and you got to like and follow us on Facebook, and then you got to get to know Jilly Bean. And Jilly Bean is the gatekeeper of our Facebook Brad Squad group. And she has to say, yeah, I know who this person is. I'm going to let you in. So please, and finally, by the way, if you do subscribe and if you do follow and like us, the most important thing is you're going to find out every time we go live. We say we go live every day at 4:30, and everybody knows it ain't happening at 4:30. It's never happened at 4:30 since we've been here on Brad Show Live Pandemic Quarantine Edition. And when we used to say we would go live at 5:30 when we had Real Brad Show with Yo-Yo and Nesquik, which hopefully will come back soon as we get back into our studios. When we have Real Brad Show Live, and we said we were starting at 5:30, everybody knows we ain't started at 5:30 either. So you need to be able to subscribe, and you need to be able to follow and like us, simply because you don't know when we're going to actually come on. Even though we say it's 4:30 and 5:30, everybody knows that's just like 4:30-ish, 5:30-ish. And sometimes 4:30 could drag to 4:45, 5 o'clock, sometimes even 5:15. So you got to be able to subscribe, and you got to be able to follow and like us to make sure that you get every day your little piece of Brad Show Live. And finally, the way this works right now, for those of you who are joining us for a first time, we'll be schmoozing a little bit about what's going on in the news. It's all horrible. It's all horrible. But we'll try to nevertheless get through it. I promise you one day all there will be good news. Okay, it will happen. I promise you it will happen. But in the meantime, horrible. So, but we're gonna schmooze through it. And then I'm gonna answer everybody's immigration questions. And the way right now that you leave your immigration questions is you leave it in our comment section. Whether you're watching on Facebook or whether you're watching on YouTube, you leave it in our comment section, and I will be happy to answer it in about 15 minutes. Now, sometimes I may miss your question. If I miss your question, you have two options. You can ask it again a few minutes later, or you can follow me on @RealBradBernstein on Instagram. If you follow me on @RealBradBernstein on Instagram, you could drop me a DM, ask me the question after the show. I'll be happy to answer it as best as I can. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live to get the best of behind the scenes, even though there's not a lot of behind the scenes right now. We're all sitting in our living rooms. But when we get back into our show, we'll have a lot of behind the scenes and the best of our produced content, even though there's not a lot of produced content right now because we're all sitting in our living rooms. But eventually, when we get back, there will be. And also, you can find the Bouncing Brad. There is a Bouncing Brad every week somewhere, a post with Bouncing Brad somewhere every week on our Brad Show Live Instagram. This week, Bouncing Brad is behind the American flag. If you find Bouncing Brad on Instagram at Brad Show Live behind the American flag, you can like that post. You can follow us at Brad Show Live, and you can tag 5 of your friends. If you do all three. Now, I always have a problem because I can't do this. I don't know what my problem is with this finger. I have a hard time with this finger. So whenever I do 3, I do it like this. Nevertheless, you can, if you do all 3, and you follow Bradshaw Live, you tag 5 friends, you like the post. Tomorrow, I have an old hat. The hat is somewhere behind me. I'm not going to get up and get it, but trust me, the hat's somewhere behind me. I'm going to put your name in a hat, and I'm going to put the name of every person who tagged 5 friends in a hat. And what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the name out of the hat, and one person is going to get a free consultation with me at a value of $200. Now, if for whatever reason you choose not to follow us at Bradshaw Live, tag 5 friends, find the Bouncing Brad, and like that post, you can always call my office at 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465, and you can call to get on my list. I have a list, and on that list, I will call you tomorrow. You call my number today, I call you tomorrow. I get a list from my office every day, and we can have a consultation. There's a lot of questions right here. Let me just quickly say hello to a couple more quick people I didn't say hello to. Squad Up, Naked Wire with a question. Miles Perkins with a question. I'm a survivor out in Arizona, surviving Arizona. Alicia Tracy Haynes saying good afternoon. Marsha Finnegan. David Gabriel, haven't seen him in a while. And let's see quickly on YouTube. Anybody else? 29 Super C popping in there late. And Kay, God bless as well. Tracy Lacey, how are you? Now we're going to get to a portion of our show that we like to call Schmoozing with Brad. All right, so there's over 5.5 million people now with coronavirus cases worldwide confirmed. 348,300 people have died. More than 2.2 million people have recovered out of the hospital. In the United States alone, more than 1.7 million people have been diagnosed with coronavirus. As of this morning, there were 98,636 deaths. I presume that at some point in the next couple of days, we will be announcing or we'll be hearing the announcements of over 100,000 people who died of coronavirus. Can you imagine if 100,000 people died, not in, in a military action, in a terrorist action? People would be up in arms. But no, on this Memorial Day weekend, people aren't up in arms. They're not looking to protect themselves. They're flocking to beaches. Many people were not social distancing, leading to warnings about possible resurgence of the coronavirus. This is the thing that scares me the most. Coronavirus isn't gone. And now all of a sudden, everybody's walking around thinking we're okay. We're not okay. It's not gone. Okay. Yes, we have to live our lives. It's not gone. What's okay is, God forbid, if you get sick at this moment throughout many hospitals around the United States of America, you're not going to, hopefully, there will be a hospital room for you. God forbid you get sick. Doesn't mean people aren't going to die. And it doesn't mean people aren't going to get very, very, very ill. A month ago, 6 weeks ago, we were very concerned. I was concerned. Oh my God, God forbid I get sick. I'm going to die on the street corner. There won't be a hospital bed for me. There won't be a ventilator for me. So the United States has that worked out right now. But coronavirus isn't going away. And we have to be very, very careful. And if you see the pictures of the people who are walking around, whether that's I don't know what we're looking at. I think that's Maryland right now that we're looking at right now. If you see people walking around, that's not social distancing. That is a recipe. Right there is a recipe for coronavirus. Everyone getting sick. Can you imagine there's 1 or 2 people in that pool who are sick? Every person in that pool is sick. Then every person in that pool goes home to their house, gets that person sick. Then then there's 5 people in the house, and those 5 people go out and they get other people sick. This is what happens. So we're not out of the woods yet. We are not out of the woods yet in any way, shape, or form. Now, as people enjoyed the unofficial start of the summer Memorial Day weekend and crowded around in places like Missouri and Maryland and didn't social distance and didn't wear a mask, President Donald Trump said he was celebrating the cases, numbers, and deaths are going down. He was having a celebration. I couldn't believe this. The man is having a celebration on Memorial Day. He's going out to play golf. 100,000 people have died in the last 90 days. That is no reason to have a celebration. Now, Deborah Birx, coordinator of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, said that she was very concerned about scenes of people crowding together over the holiday weekend. Birx said on ABC News this week that we really want to be clear all the time that social distancing is absolutely critical. And if you can't social distance and you're outside, you have to wear a mask. Meanwhile, Trump said that he's done with hydrochloroquine. I don't even know if he took it or not. Nobody knows for sure if he took it. He just came out and says he took it. Now, Trump, he's been promoting this hydrochloroquine for weeks. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization says that they stopped a clinical trial. Why? Because people were dying from hydrochloroquine. The WHO said that 3,500 patients from 17 countries enrolled in what it called the Solidarity Trial, and it was an effort overseen by the World Health Organization to find new treatments for coronavirus. The patients in the trial were randomly assigned to be treated with hydrochloroquine, which is a common malaria drug. That's the drug that Donald Trump has been promoting. That's the drug that he said that everybody should take. That's a drug he was taking. Now, they stopped it because people were dying. The World Health Organization's chief scientist, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, if I pronounce this name right, said that the hydrochloroquine raised questions. Many of the investigators involved in the World Health Organization trial, they decided to be proactive, err on the side of caution, and suspend enrollment temporarily into the hydroxyquine arm. Basically, it wasn't helping people, it was killing people. Now, some good news for people who like to smoke weed. That's not me, I don't smoke weed. But if you do like to smoke weed, well, some scientists in Canada said weed could be a good treatment for coronavirus. Now, this has not been proven scientifically. I don't want everybody to go out and say, all right, Brad said smoke weed if I get sick. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that a team of Canadian, I don't want anyone to say, well, Brad told me I should get high every day if I get coronavirus. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that a team of Canadian scientists believe that it found a strong strain of cannabis that could help prevent and treat coronavirus infections. Now, researchers from the University of Lethbridge said a study in April showed at least 13 cannabis plants were high in CBD that appeared to affect the pathways that the bug uses to access the body. How vaccines work is it prevents, the little, there's a virus bug and it has all different little tentacles, and the tentacle has to fit into a cell in your body somehow, well beyond my expertise, but apparently it prevents the holes or the thing from getting into the hole, whatever it has to do to get you sick. That's the theory behind it. The results were printed online on the journal Preprints, indicated that hemp extracts high in CBD may help block proteins that provide a gateway for coronavirus to enter the host cells, which led the article to say, well, if you got them, smoke them. No, don't do that. But that's according to at least this one story out of Canada. We'll see. That would be quite ironic if the cure for coronavirus is smoke weed. That would be quite ironic after all of the people that got deported from the United States for smoking weed. Meanwhile, Brazil, they are going to shortly be leading the world in coronavirus cases. They have nearly now 350,000 coronavirus cases. They are in third place, and it's not a race you want to win. President Trump is now barring the entry of most non-U.S. citizens who have been in Brazil within the last 14 days. If you're in Brazil, you now need to go to a third country and live in that third country for at least 14 days, coronavirus free, before you are able to come to the United States. The only people it does not apply to are U.S. citizens, children of U.S. citizens, and permanent residents. So if you have a green card and you're from Brazil, you're a U.S. citizen, or you are the child under 21 of a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, it would not apply to you. This new restrictions begin on Thursday. Actually, I said it's the third highest number. It's actually the second highest number of confirmed coronavirus infections. They actually overtook Russia. They are now only behind the United States and catching up, unfortunately, very quickly. Meanwhile, as I said, it's been bad news all around. Disgusting, shocking racial problems throughout the United States. You can't believe that this is still 2020, that this crap is still happening. I'm disgusted to be an American when I see these things. I'm sure most people already saw this. In a video shared on social media early today, the Minneapolis police officer who killed the man by sitting on his neck. And after the black man, he was a black man, he was struggling to breathe. Apparently he was intoxicated, but not violent. And he was yelling, I can't breathe, don't kill me. Bystanders were gathering around. They said to the cop, get off him. What are you trying to kill him? The cop didn't get off of him for about 5 minutes. And then George Floyd, this happened in Minneapolis. And then George Floyd, he was in his late 40s. He died on his way to the hospital. Now the FBI and state authorities are investigating his death. Police said the incident, now this is what the police say. We'll find out what really happened. But the police said that the incident began when two officers arrived at 3700 block of Chicago Avenue South around 8 o'clock. The officers located the man who they believed to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol inside of his car. Okay. So he's basically DUI in a parked car. Does this mean he gets killed? Now, the police claim he was physically resisting officers. I don't know. I didn't see. Even so, does this mean he gets killed after the officers kneeling on him for 5 minutes? Now, they got him in handcuffs, and then they claim he was suffering a medical distress, and then they called an ambulance. This is what the police say. Now, Daniela Frazier, who was on her way to see friends when she saw the incident unfolding outside of a Cup Foods grocery store on the south side of Minneapolis, she quickly began recording the encounter in a 10-minute video later she shared on Facebook. It is amazing, okay? It is amazing. I tell this to all my clients. I tell this to my friends who are black. I even tell this to my friends who are white. If you have any incident with a police officer or any incident, the best evidence, videotape. Even if you can't videotape, put on an audio tape. Other than that, no one believes you. You watch a videotape doesn't lie, an audio tape doesn't lie. And thank God for Darnella Frazier. I can't believe that this man had to die. But she posted this on Facebook, and she says, when I walked up, he was already on the ground. The cops were pinning him down by his neck. He was crying. They were not taking him seriously. As more people gathered around the encounter outside the grocery store, the man pleaded. I mean, he's in pain. His nose was bleeding because it was being pressed into the pavement so hard. So they broke his nose. It was bleeding. Please get off of me. Witnesses begged the white officer to take his knee off the man's neck. One bystander yelled out, "You're going to just sit there with your knee on his neck?" Well, minutes later, the man appeared motionless on the ground. His eyes was closed. His head was lying back. And we hear on the video somebody saying, "Bro, he's not even fucking moving." "Get off his neck," said another. And then a third person you hear saying, "Did you kill him?" And nobody got off this guy's neck. The ambulance came. They took him away. They said he was unconscious when he was loaded on the stretcher. I believe he was dead when he was loaded onto that stretcher to an ambulance. Now, today, 4 police officers involved. We don't know their names. They have been fired. The Minneapolis mayor, Jacob Frey, wrote of the firings in a Facebook post. He wrote, "Being black in America should not be a death sentence. For 5 minutes, we watched a white officer press his knee into a black man's neck. When you hear someone calling for help, you're supposed to help. This officer failed in the most basic human sense. And, it's funny. There's nothing funny about this. What I think about is, have I ever seen, you say, okay, well, that's police brutality. They just killed a man for no reason. But it goes beyond police brutality because it's pure racism. Because when do we ever hear of a situation where a white guy gets pulled out of a car and gets killed for being drunk in a parked car? When do we hear that? When do we hear about a white guy taking a jog in a neighborhood and getting hunted by the neighbors because he peeked into a house? When do we hear this stuff? We don't. So it's racism. And, more happened. I don't know if you saw right here in Central Park this weekend, a white woman, she apologized for calling police on a black man who was bird watching in Central Park on Monday after two argued about her unleashed dog. The woman's name was Amy Cooper, and she told CNN that she wanted to publicly apologize to everybody. Amy Cooper claims she's not a racist, but certainly she pulled the white privilege card. And that's the bottom line. She was walking her dog Monday, and the dog had no leash on. And a black man came by and said, "Put your leash on your dog. That's the rules." And she pulled the white privilege card. Don't tell me what to do. And they started having a bit of a conversational argument. The man videotaped her. She said, "Don't take videos of me. I'm going to call the police right now and claim that a black man is trying to threaten my life in Central Park." Now, I walk through Central Park every day. There's a lot of bird watchers. Okay. I even sometimes I look up, I see people looking at birds all day long, and I'm looking up, I go, I don't see the bird anywhere. I don't know what I'm looking at. But this is an example of, what is a mundane situation every day where white people call the police on an African American. Now Christian Cooper, he was the man who the police called. He said, "I videotaped it because I thought it was important to document things." And I agree. Unfortunately, we live in an era with things like Ahmaud Arbery, where black men are seen as targets. This woman thought she could exploit that to her advantage, and I wasn't going to have it. Now, the man who filmed the Ahmaud Arbery in February, he was arrested on Thursday. William Roddy Bryan Jr., he's the guy who was in the second car filming the murder of Ahmaud. His name is William Roddy Bryan Jr., and he was charged with felony murder and criminal attempt to commit false imprisonment. So he is also arrested. Now, this Amy Cooper, by the way, it was just ironic that the white woman in Central Park, her name was Amy Cooper, and the black man who was just bird watching, his name was Christian Cooper, but they had obviously no relationship. She lost her job, deservedly so. She lost her dog also, the Cocker Spaniel, who she got from a rescue house. They took the dog back, and the dog had to be surrendered to the shelter where she adopted him. Now, this all emanates, there's racism everywhere. I don't understand where anybody would be able. I was talking to Jill about this earlier, and I said, I don't know where somebody in like the worst, angriest thing that they would say, I'm going to call the police and make pretend that because you're black, you are doing something. I said, where would that come into somebody's mind to do that? Unless it was always there in the first place. 'Cause it's not something that I would think of ever to say or do. It also, emanates also from the top. Donald Trump, between Charlottesville, he gives a lot of nods to racists. He gives a lot of nods to anti-Semites. He gives a lot of nods to people to do some bad things that we otherwise, some people would think about doing but don't act on. For example, last Thursday, President Trump, he went to the Ford Motor Company. The head of, he wanted to go look at how they are dealing with, I guess, making masks or ventilators or whatever they're doing now at Ford, besides making cars. Well, for those who don't know, Henry Ford, who is the founder of Ford Motor Company, he is a notorious anti-Semite, hated Jews. He actually even got a medal from Adolf Hitler and published a book called The Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which was a fabricated book that was published in the 1920s, and he was a big publisher of this book that went around the world, say Jews were taking over the world, which was the impetus for Hitler and anti-Semitism and the Holocaust and everything that came from it. Well, Henry Ford, he was a horrible, horrible person. Good businessman, terrible human being. Well, President Trump, he went to Ford Motor Company on Thursday, and what did he do? He praised Henry Ford, a notorious anti-Semite, for his good bloodlines. Good bloodlines. What does that mean? It's such typical Trump. Good bloodlines. These are words that are used by bigots and anti-Semites and racists to say that I am better than you. My DNA is better than your DNA. I am superior than you. Now, these are things that come from the President of the United States of America. So, it emanates straight from the top. And, Joe Biden, he stuck his foot in his mouth too. He stuck his foot in his mouth too this weekend. He apologized. He said he shouldn't have been such a wise guy on Friday, hours after he told a popular African-American radio host that anyone struggling to decide whether to support him or Donald Trump in the general election ain't black. Now, the presumptive Democratic nominee's comments came at the end of a tense interview. He was actually getting angry at the interviewer, Charlemagne the God, on The Breakfast Club. Charlemagne was doing his job. What is his job? To ask tough questions, ask hard questions. He's not throwing softballs at anybody. So when Biden was getting some very, very tough questions, he said to Charlemagne the God, I got to leave because my wife, she has to use our studio for a different interview. And Charlemagne shot back, you can't do that to the black media. And Biden shot back at Charlemagne. They got into it. I do that to the white media. I do that to the black media because my wife has to go on at 6 o'clock. And Biden continued to say, you got more questions, Biden replied. Well, I'll tell you what, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. And that's just stupid by Biden. Just stupid. And the reason why it's stupid is simply this, okay? As a white person, okay, and this is my opinion, people can tell me I'm wrong, okay? People can tell me I'm wrong. I'm not telling you I have all the right answers, but as a white person, I can't tell somebody whether they're black or not. I can't tell. Why? Because I'm not black. How could I tell somebody they are or aren't if I'm not? How could I? I've never lived in their shoes. I never walked the streets that they walked. So how could I tell somebody that? Stupid comment. And Charlemagne responded, it don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact that I want something for my community. Take a look at my record. Biden shot back. And they obviously got into a big fight. And Biden, I've said this from the beginning. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. He could only lose this. He can't He can only lose this. Let Trump stick his foot in his mouth. Let Trump stick his foot in his mouth. He can only lose this. So that's what's going on in the world. Terrible news weekend. Let's see if we can answer some people's immigration questions and try to get some more life into this show. Got to remind everybody, by the way, if you like this show, please subscribe on YouTube. I'm not going to go through my entire spiel again, but we want you to subscribe on YouTube. If you want to be notified every time we come live on the air, you have to subscribe. And by the way, Shauna K. Pert, she agrees with me. She said, as you already said before, all Joe has to do is shut his mouth. Yeah. And Tamika Nelson, it's because he's white, and in politics, that's why they blow it up like that. Yes, also very, very true. But he didn't need to say that. He needs to know that if that's what you believe, Tamika, if that's what you believe, Tamika, he needs to know he can't say those things. He can't say those things. And he can't, and by the way, he loses his temper very, very easily. Okay? So imagine what's going to happen during the debates. Trump's going to rattle him. He's going to lose his. Look, this guy, Charlemagne, he got under Biden's skin in 6 seconds. In 6 seconds, he was under Biden's skin. So, yes, I am rooting for him. I want him because anybody's better than Trump. But he can't lose his cool. He's got to stay, one thing with Obama, even Bill Clinton, never lost their cool ever. No matter what was thrown at them, they had the same tone. They were able to deflect. They were able to change the subject. They were able to come off friendly and approachable and likable. Not start screaming at somebody. You don't know what you ain't black. Come on. How does he know what it's like to be black? He wouldn't. So he made a mistake. He made a mistake. Absolutely, he made a mistake. Okay, that doesn't mean we're not going to support him. Just means he just got to shut up. With that, please subscribe on YouTube. Please follow us on Facebook. Also, if you want to join the Brad Squad, you got to subscribe on YouTube. You got to follow us on Facebook. And then you gotta kind of like shimmy up and to Jilly, make her like you. Okay, you gotta do an Obama or a Clinton on Jilly. Don't pull a Biden on Jilly. She won't let you in. You gotta pull it out. You gotta pull an Obama or a Clinton on Jilly. Bill Clinton, not Hillary. Nobody liked Hillary either, but Bill. You gotta pull one of those on her, make her like you. And then she'll let you in the Brad Squad. No, you'll be in. Don't worry. She's very easy. And right now, to also start your watch parties. If you haven't started your watch parties on Facebook, let's get those numbers up. The reality is this. I need you, Brad Squad, to be our publicists. I need you to be our advertising agency. I need you to be our promoters. I need you to share this. I need you to do your watch parties. I need you to copy the links and put it in your public profile. I need the same thing on YouTube, guys. We need the promotion, and it starts with Brad Squad. So please do it. And finally, if you want to have a consultation with me, the telephone number to call is 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, telephone numbers 212-227-8933. And finally, don't forget about our free consultation on Instagram. Follow the Bouncing Brad. Don't follow him. Like the Bouncing Brad. Sometimes I forget what I'm saying. Like the Bouncing Brad. And if you like Bouncing Brad and you find Bouncing Brad behind the American flag and you tag 5 of your friends, your name may be pulled out of our hat tomorrow. It's not our hat. It's my hat. But it's now become Brad Squad's hat. And maybe you will get a free consultation. With that, let's get into something we like to call, you got a question? Hopefully I got an answer in Pandemic Immigration Answers and Questions. All right, first question comes from Jennifer Garza. She said, question, I found out my husband was cheating and the marriage was a fraud, possibly a fraud. How do I come off the petition? We had an interview, had the RFE, we had to send it in. The application is not complete yet. So Jennifer, I assume you are the U.S. citizen. If you are the U.S. citizen, you can write a letter to the immigration officer, submit a copy of the RFE, which will be the last correspondence you got, and say, I am withdrawing the application, period. And that's the end of it. That's one sentence letter. Baba Jamili. Can a woman who takes government assistance like food stamps file for a man after marriage and bring him to USA if she is not working? You can. That doesn't mean he's going to get a green card. It's unlikely he's going to get a green card, actually, because you're on food stamps and you're not working. So you cannot support yourself, let alone support another person. So you're going to have a hard time getting him here, which is different than anyone can put in an application. It's whether he's going to get a green card, unlikely. See what else we have here. Sushey Halliman. Hi, Brad. This is all craziness. Do you think it's a good time to apply for a green card? My answer is absolutely. It is a good time to apply for a green card. Why? Because ultimately, and the government still needs to follow the law. We still have a U.S. Constitution. And the worst thing in the world that anyone could be in at this point is out of status. I don't think it's a good thing to be out of status if you have the ability to get your green card today. I think it's a smart thing to apply for your green card. If ever before in the history of the world that would be a smart thing, that would be now. Richie Smith, Brad, how long does it take to get a combo card? If you're filing an adjustment, hopefully about 6 months or so. Denisha Joseph, she just wants to tell us that she's a multitasker. She's cooking, she's watching her favorite show. Am I good or what? She is. Hi, Uncle Brad. This is Haja Bintu Barrett. Hi, Uncle Brad. How long can an additional review take? I don't know what you mean by an additional review, so please give me a little more color, give me a little more commentary, give me a little more details what you're talking about. Anita Nelson has a question. Hello, Uncle Brad. Please, I have a question. I realize that, Anita. By the way, I'm very itchy face today. Why is that? I don't know. My skin must be dry. I need to lotion, but I'm really not a metrosexual guy. You know, I just brush my teeth and brush my hair and wash my face, but that's about it. I got to start like putting something on my face. I think I'm peeling and getting itchy. That's a whole other story. All right. Hello, Uncle Brad. Please, I have a question. During the Stokes interview, the officer asked, how do we get to the wedding center? How we got to the wedding center? One says the car and one said by train. Well, if one said by car and one said by train, you obviously didn't go together. After the interview, the officer brings us together and asks my spouse to explain that question, why someone said car and another one said the train. And he told the officer that I said to him that in Africa, the man goes separate and the woman goes separate too. Please, will this question give us a problem because it's now been 4 months? No, you answered it perfectly right. You went one way and he went another way. I'm divorced now. Okay, I'm divorced now. But when I got married in a Marriott hotel to my first wife. And she stayed in the Marriott hotel the night before. And I didn't see her until, because this is what she wanted to do. It had nothing to do with custom. It was just her thing. And I didn't see her until she walked down the aisle to get married to me. And, this is going back 20 years. So, if we got a Stokes interview, she would have said, I took a train and I was at the hotel and I took a taxi. So I would have answered the same thing. It doesn't mean you're not in a real marriage as long as it makes sense. Patricia Martin has a question. If some privileges were terminated due to their I-751 was denied, can they still keep working? You're not working legally, but the answer is, can you still be working? Yes, because you're not actually putting yourself in any more danger from working than not working. The only people who are responsible for determining whether you're legal to work or not in that situation is your employer. So if your employer doesn't determine that, keep working because you need to pay the bills. Now, does that mean you're working legally? No. But the fact that you're working out of status is not going to prevent you from ultimately, getting remarried again and getting a green card, or from, proving your I-751 in a removal hearing. Mika Senavuga. Hi, Brad. It's me again. Hi, Mika. Hi. I noticed it was you again. Yes. My question is, an aunt of mine has a son over 21, married, who's here on a visitor's visa. Should he return to the country in June, but his mom wants a petition filed for him since he's still here? Please advise. Well, if he stays here, he's going to stay here out of status for about 10, 12 years. I don't think that's a really smart idea. So maybe they should have a consultation with me, and he shouldn't stay or figure out a way to stay legally. Rag Dad, just with a pre-comment of the day. Men in denim built this country, and men in suits and ties destroy it, but not you, Mr. Brad. Love your show. Stay safe. Thank God at least I was left out of the bed with the suits and ties. Thank you, Rog. I thought you were going to tell me too. Naked Wire. Hi, Brad. Do step minor kids get automatic citizenship after being filed for? No. You only get automatic U.S. citizenship through your biological parents, not through step parents. Miles Perkins has a question. Hi, Brad. I have a quick question. Good. I had my citizenship interview on April 29th last year. I was told at the end of the interview by the immigration officer that the supervisor has to review my case. I passed the test and everything was smooth. I haven't had any updates since then. My online case status still stuck on scheduled interview. What should I do? If it's been now more than 1 year, and you haven't heard anything, it's time to start getting Uncle Brad involved, because either you have a problem on citizenship or they're violating your rights. But you're entitled to be a citizen at this point if everything went well. So we're going to thread in all sorts of things like mandamuses and de novo reviews and federal litigation, and hopefully that'll wake their asses up a little bit and get you your citizenship interview. If not, we may end up having to do it. But that's really what you do. I'm so feisty today. Wake their asses up. I'm laughing at myself. Usually I don't talk like that, but I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking like that today, but okay. Lisa Bennett. I have a son. He's 18 years old, and he got his green card. When him uses ID, it says they can't find his identity. What should I do? Well, he has a green card. Isn't that his identity? I'm not sure what you're talking about, so we need a little more information on that one. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, always with at least a pre or post comment of the day. People, you think Brad just come on just to play some games? He is serious about helping everyone to get their American dream. So call him. He's absolutely here to help you. He's the best lawyer in the world. High five, high five, high five, Carol Anderson, the Tiger. And Wa Mahat just subscribed on YouTube, but following here on Facebook for so long too. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we have here. Victoria Rodriguez with a question. Hi, Brad. Can I petition my son, age 25, single? I'm a conditional permanent resident currently on extension. Yes, you can. You can petition your son as a conditional resident. You can petition your son trying to remove the conditions of your permanent residence as well. Jennifer Garza has a question. I'm wondering what my options are for pending applications of 485, and I get kicked him out from cheating. Oh, you were not the U.S. citizen, I guess. I kicked him out from cheating the entire time we were married and found evidence it wasn't love, but convenience in card that he marked me. Well, I don't know what you're asking. If you're the U.S. citizen, then you can withdraw the application. If you need the green card, then you need to speak with me. Haja Bintu Barrett. I have an I-130 approved while in removal proceedings. Great. Removal proceedings being deportation. I filed an I-601 along with the I-45 that's taken more than 2 years now, ending up getting deported. Just filed the I-212 that's been in process for 6 months now. When do you expect to hear from USCIS? Thank you, Uncle Brad. It sounds like you're doing an I-601A, and now you're doing the I-2. The I-212 takes faster than the I-601A if you are in removal proceedings right now. But you may also need the I-601A also if you're out of status for more than a year. So you may need both. When will you get an answer? Where is my magic 8-ball? Matt, do you really need me to get the magic 8-ball to tell you? Or my answer is, I don't know when you're going to get an answer, but maybe you need to have a consultation with me. I'm going to get the magic 8-ball. I think this really needs a magic 8-ball moment. Hold on one second. Everybody stay where you are. I've got in my hand the magic 8-ball. Magic 8-ball. Magic. When will Haji Bintou Barrett get his applications approved? When will that happen? And the magic 8-ball says it cannot predict right now. I got up for no reason, but I'm telling you it's exactly what the magic 8-ball said. Let's see if I can get that right. Oh, I think it moved, but it did say I cannot predict. Let's see what happened to it now. It did say it cannot predict. Oh, magic 8-ball doesn't like me to share the information with everybody, just wants me to keep it myself. It's very funny because as soon as I try to show everybody it's really what the magic 8-ball says, it doesn't want me to show it. Cannot predict. That's what it said, though. So, Haja, I can't predict when it will be. I don't know anything about your application, but I think what you need to do is give me a call because then maybe we'll figure out what's going on with your case. Loki Sam. Will my marijuana charge affect my I-751 application? I was charged. They gave me a diversion program, and after that, my charge was dropped, so I'm not convinced, but I think you mean convicted. But I keep reading that even if I'm not convicted, it will affect my I-751 because I took a plea that's still in conviction and immigration eyes. It is. Let me tell you what the definition of a crime is in immigration eyes. A definition of a crime is when you plead guilty and a punishment is given to you, which is why when you enter into a diversion program, it is not a guilty plea for immigration. Because even though you pled guilty, the diversion program, there's no punishment. It's you go in this program and the judge gives you no sentence whatsoever. So as long as you go into a diversion program, there's no sentence. There was no probation. There was no jail. There was no fine, no nothing. So the judge says, plead guilty. I will hold off on sentencing you, go to the diversion program, and then I'm going to dismiss everything. That's what a diversion program is. So for immigration purposes, it's not a crime, so it won't affect you. Let's see what else we have here. Hernandez Sama. Good evening, Brad. I have a VAWA pending, and my wife wants us to get married, but I'm scared that my pending VAWA will be denied because of the marriage. I saw on USCIS website that if I get married while my VAWA has not been approved, the application will be denied. All the attorneys I know said, if I remarry, my VAWA will be denied. Please, I need your opinion. You cannot remarry until your VAWA is approved. If you file a VAWA and the I-485 together, and the VAWA gets approved, you can get married even if the I-485 is denied. Or you can get married if your current wife is a U.S. citizen, withdraw your VAWA and file a new adjustment through your wife. That's an option too if she's a U.S. citizen. So those would be your three options. Michelle favored Copeland. With the offices being closed, does it make sense to attempt putting in my paperwork? Yes, because even though they're closed for interviews, they're accepting application. There is going to be a price increase on green card applications, so your best bet to get it in now. I'm a survivor. Talking about the incident where a white woman called the police on the black man because he told her to put a leash on the dog. Yes, we talked about that. Dainty Chili Right. Hi, Brad. If separated but still married during the 2-year conditional green card, do you need an immigration attorney to apply for the 10-year permanent green card? Yes, because you're going to have a hard time proving it's a bona fide marriage. You may consider, if you're separated, either trying to figure out how to get back together with your wife or getting a divorce. People who are separated and try to do a joint application, that's a recipe for disaster. And by the way, you're asking a lawyer if you need a lawyer. Oi, come on, Dainty. If you already have to ask if you need a lawyer, that's already your answer. Okay. Whenever anybody says, do I need a lawyer? You've already answered your question. You need a lawyer. Number two, never, ever, I'm a lawyer. Never, ever, ever ask a lawyer, do you need a lawyer? Because you know what the answer is going to be? Of course you need a lawyer. Why wouldn't you need a lawyer? Of course you do. Rupan Thakador saying hello. Let's go to YouTube and see what's going on YouTube. Andres504 says, hi, Brad. I'm trying to travel to my home country. However, I'm afraid I could have a problem when coming back. My green card is just one last name, but my passport is both. Will this be a problem? Yes, your green card has to match the name on your passport. They're not going to let you on the plane. A Better Tomorrow has a question. Hi, Brad. My mom has a green card. Excuse me. Let me just take some water a second. Hi, Brad. My mom has a green card and she's stuck in Canada because of coronavirus. Now, for how long can she stay there without having a problem with losing her green card? Well, you have to come back within 6 months, but if it's more than 6 months, I think there's a very good reason why she didn't come back. So as long as she's back within a year, she doesn't have to even go to the embassy. She'll be allowed back. I don't think that'll be a problem. Marco Salinas, hi, Uncle Brad. I just got my VAWA approved today. Congratulations, Marco. My lawyer sent my I-45 on December 2018. I was married to a U.S. citizen. When should I receive my green card? Does the same counting start since December 2018? Unfortunately, no. I would say it's about another 6-9 months. They're going to start counting the I-45 at the time the I-360 was approved. Presley Elvis is in the house. Hello, Uncle Brad. Hello, Presley. I applied for VAWA together with the I-45 since February 15th. I always love saying that. Elvis is in the house. Well, he applied, Elvis, for a VAWA together with his I-45 since February 15th. The check was cashed in March. No receipt notice. I sent an inquiry to Vermont 3 weeks ago. Still nothing. Are they working on my case? Yes, they are. Your receipt notice probably got lost in the mail. You can request a duplicate copy. Nathan Green wants to know, hi, Brad. I want to know when immigration is opening for interviews. As of now, they're claiming June 4th. Safi Darbo, hi, USCIS sent me a note for my VAWA's new green card is produced. What does that mean for I-360? It either means that your green card is being produced or your work permit is being produced. I'm not sure which card you're referring to. Danelle Toussaint with a pre-comment of the day. You are the man of the moment, Brad. You help people very much. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we have here. Whoops, I lost my place. YL Millie has a question. Wait, I went too far. My apologies. Wow, I jumped the gun. 1 second, I'm getting back to everybody here. God bless. After filing your adjustment of status, and I didn't receive notice in the mail, but my text a few weeks later, I received a courtesy letter on yellow paper. What should I do? Nothing. It means that your case is going. So don't worry about getting the notice. You have a yellow paper with a courtesy notice. That means your application is there. Just continue waiting. Need for Speed says a question. Hi, Mr. Brad. I got married to a U.S. citizen. My priority date is September 2018. My interview was completed in June 2019. Since then, no update on the adjustment. When can I expect an update? Please let me know. I would expect that if your interview was in September 2018 and there's no update, my guess is you're going to get a Stokes interview. They probably didn't believe it was a bona fide marriage or your fingerprints didn't clear, one or the other, but more likely it's they didn't believe it was a bona fide marriage. They're going to give you a Stokes interview. You're going to get separated into 2 different rooms. I think you need a consultation unless you think the interview went really well and you're excuse my language, flabbergasted that they haven't approved you yet. I'm not sure what happened at that interview, but generally when it's 8, 9, 10, 11 months, that means get ready for a Stokes. Elesmi Orolana. Hello, is there any type of relief for not leaving the United States when you're granted voluntary departure? Yeah, the relief is you got to reopen your deportation case and give a good reason why they should reopen your case. That's the relief. Grace Ann Mailer. Hi, Brad. I filed for my child over 21. She's here in the United States. If I just moved to another apartment 1 block away, if I update my address, will that delay the case? No, because you're still in the same office jurisdiction, so you'll be fine. Belcom Lakadari. Hi, Brad. I'm a U.S. citizen, and my wife is a green card holder. I did apply for food stamps. Does the food stamps affect my life when she will apply for citizenship? Thank you very much. I'm a U.S. citizen, and my wife's a green card holder. I did apply for food stamps. Does food stamps affect, not affect your life, I guess affect your wife? If your wife didn't collect food stamps, it should not affect her citizenship. Nate S. Hi, Brad. I got voluntary departure and I made it back to my country of birth. I wanted to get departure verification at the embassy, but it's closed. Should I mail it? Department of State says submit in person. I wouldn't mail it. I would wait for the embassy to reopen and bring proof of your plane ticket that you left on time. Michael squares everything because you could have mailed that to your friend who mailed it in. There's no proof that you were physically here. You got to show yourself physically. Michael squares everything. When will your offices reopen to the public? My offices are open to the public right now. Call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. We can't physically see you, but we're all working from our homes. I don't know when we'll be back in our offices. That's up to Governor Cuomo for the state of New York. My guess is sometime by mid to late June. But right now our office is open. We're working. We're getting people green cards. We're doing things. Let's see. Wael Millie. Hey, Brad, will USCIS accept my amendment return? I filed the head of household instead of married jointly because my wife got Social Security number disability. I thought, yeah, I don't have to pay taxes. Yeah, you can amend your taxes and submit it. That's perfectly fine. Silvagina Savarajan R. Hi, Uncle Brad. If an LPR spouse delivers a baby abroad after consular processing is complete, can the baby travel to the U.S. along with the mom? Yes, within the first 6 months of the birth. Yes, you have to go back to the embassy and get a special travel permit for the baby, and then you can file for the baby in America. But you have to take the baby on your first trip into America. If you leave the baby behind, you go to America and then come back and want to take the baby, they're not going to let you. You have to do it within the first 6 months. Dominic Smith. Hi, Brad. A spouse earned $33,600 per year. The NVC is telling him it's not enough to sponsor his wife and his 16-year-old son, whom they pay child support. I thought to sponsor 2 persons plus himself is $27,750. Yes, but they have now additional rules, okay, that your wife has to show that she can self-support herself. So we have additional rules that have to be required. It's not enough just the income of the spouse anymore. Phoenix K. Hi, Brad. I had the I-45 last year in August through a citizen's son after he turned 18. I had I-45 last year in August through my citizen's son. Still waiting for an update. Had to use Congressman's office to work permit. Well, your son can't file for you until he's 21. So if he filed for you, if he was filed for you and he was only 18, then you're going to have a problem getting a green card. You're going to be denied. But if he was over 21, then it shouldn't take more than a year. So call me in a year if you still don't have it. Firas Abu Rizik. I was a permanent resident and I filed a form I-130 for a non-U.S. citizen spouse outside of United States. That is a statement for us. Congratulations. If you have a question, you can ask it in the next comment. John Jasmine, can I apply for unemployment? My status is on intent to deny. Yes, you can. And I'd be more concerned about your intent to deny than your unemployment at this point, although unemployment will certainly cause a problem if you have no money. Julie Matabar, did I hear any news about the 60-day ban extension? No, I have not. Let's go back to Facebook quickly for some last second questions. Audrey Gooden. Thanks for the job you do. If a citizen went back home after 30 years of schooling and working, can she marry and file for a spouse? Absolutely. Why not? Ione Russell, Brad, good evening. For the path to citizenship, you have to receive the 10-year green card first before you apply for the N-400? Not necessarily. There are people who have a pending I-751 and a bona fide marriage with their spouse. They've had a conditional green card and a pending I-751 for more than 3 years. You can file your N-400, absolutely. But I'm always the opinion, wait for the I-751 to get approved first. But there are people who file it, and then you go on the citizenship interview, and now you have 2 cases pending, both the I-751 and the citizenship. But yeah, you can absolutely do it. Loki Sam, will my marijuana charge affect my I-751? I'm not convicted. The charge was dropped when I finished my diversion program. No, it will not. I discussed that already. Let's see what else we have here. Elizabeth Brown Walker says she has my law firm. She's not hearing from anybody. She needs to know what's going on. Elizabeth, just drop me a DM on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein, and I'll follow up for you. So I'm sorry if you haven't heard anything. Samri Funi Sammy, my wife was cheating and she left me without helping get the green card. How can I get it? Well, if there was extreme emotional abuse, you can file a VAWA. If there was physical abuse, you can file a VAWA. Otherwise, you need to get divorced and find a new way. Those are your 3 options always. Bell Kasem. Hi, Brad. I'm a U.S. citizen. My wife's a green card holder. I did apply for food stamps. Does food stamps affect my wife when she applied for citizenship? No. No, it won't. There's absolutely no effect on citizenship food stamps. Katie and Plunkett. Not sure if this is a question or not. I don't think that was a question. She just gave a long statement. Hi, Uncle Brad. Martin Allison wants to know, how you doing? When doing a new Social Security, can you mail the documents, or you're going to have to go in person to do the form? No, you can do it online if you want. You can go in person too, but you can do it online if you want to. And finally, on YouTube, Fiona K with the last question of the day. Hi, Brad. Sorry. Yes, my son was 21, not 18 when we filed in August last year. I'm a nurse. If that helps, still waiting for green card. Only have the work permit. How long to get it? I'm in California. It shouldn't take more than a year, Fiona. So if it's taking more than a year, then you should call me. Just wait the year out. You should get an interview within a year. If not, then give me a call. My telephone number to call me is 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's 212-227-8933. If you have not subscribed on Facebook yet and you love the show and you want to be part of Brad's Squad, please subscribe on Facebook right now. You'll be notified every time we come live. If you are not liking and following us on Facebook, then please do that as well. You will also be notified every time we come on live. Of course, you can always follow us also on Bradshaw Live on Instagram, and you can follow and you can like the Bouncing Brad. And if you like Bouncing Brad, you may get a free consultation tomorrow as long as you tag 5 of your friends. You can win a free consultation with me. You can also drop me a DM on my Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein if I didn't answer your immigration question, and I'll be happy to answer it to the best of my ability. So, for example, Pretty Malay said I did not answer her question. Well, Pretty Malay, I'm sorry, I didn't see it, and I can't answer everything. So just follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. Drop me your question in a DM, and it'll be my pleasure to answer it. And finally, what else do I have? Finally, comments of the day. Comments of the day. What are the comments of the day? Let's see what they are. Patricia Lusan, I follow you religiously. Thank you very much, Patricia. And Wamahat, I'm here with no immigration issues, and I'm here every day. Best show ever. Thank you very much. And Nish said, squad up, very informative, fluently and clearly spoken. Thanks, Uncle Brad, for your time, knowledge, and patience. This is a stimulus check well needed. Thank you very much. And Mama Afu Baidu, I think we need to change the magic 8 ball. It's not working right during the COVID-19. LOL. Did you hear that, Magic 8 Ball? We need to fix this. I agree. And that's very funny. All right. I think that's all our comments of the day. Thank you all for watching. Again, my telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. If you need to reach me, I'll be happy to give you a call tomorrow. Just call us right now so you can get on my list, or 212-227-8933. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you all tomorrow for Hump Day. Thanks for watching.